Hey, hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us today. This webinar is for dairy producers and veterinarians interested in learning about the new features in the updated 8.2 version of PCDART. We'll start with a presentation. If you have questions throughout, feel free to type them in the chat and I will ask it aloud when appropriate. Once the presentation portion is over, we'll open the floor for additional questions and discussions. Don't be shy. You joined because you want to know more, and we want to give you the information you need. Today, we will cover things like customized themes and scaling, beef on dairy, new standard reports, and more. The goal is to help you navigate and feel comfortable with the new changes, help you get more from your herd management software, and show you where to go to get more information if needed. So let's get started with a few introductions. I'm Michelle Kaufman, the Customer Solutions Advisor for CentralStar Cooperative. I work with producers, veterinarians, and teammates to understand the diagnostic testing options offered through our laboratories. To help us better understand everything new with PCDART, we have Cassie Sawyer. Cassie is the Assistant Manager of DRMS User Support Services. She has been with DRMS for 16 years and has a wealth of knowledge and experience to share. She and her team are dedicated to helping you get the most out of PCDART. So thank you, Cassie, for joining us today, and now I turn it over to you.
Well, hey, everybody. Thanks for coming. Let me share my screen here really quick, and we will get started. Okay. So the newest release of PCDART has many new features to offer. The first thing we're going to discuss is the customized themes and scalings. As you'll notice when you open PCDART, you do have different scaling and it is now got a green header. So you can go to view and theme, and we have multiple themes for you to choose from. There are dark themes available, for example, Gary Pumpkin, and you will notice the dark theme goes throughout all the pages. Other themes that are available are our light themes. The default is the DRMS green. Okay, you can also change your scaling. This can be done under view and scale. It defaults to 100%. I'm a big 150 fan myself. You can also go down to the bottom right-hand corner and adjust your scaling here. So you'll also notice that the scaling options are available in different DRMS screens, such as tracker. Sorry about that, it popped into a different screen here. So you can change your scalings within tracker or any of the other secondary executables. Another thing that you'll notice for any herds over like 1,500 cows, you have what we call an optimized option, where you will no longer see your action list shown on this main screen. And then we have what we're calling the optimized cow page, which means that right now we notice in our previous version, we have a drop down and a magnifying glass next to each of the cow index and barn name. Once you've updated PCDART, those options will be removed. So you know, oops, excuse me, let me restart that. So when you update PCDART, you will not have the drop down or magnifying glass, but you can change those within that program settings. Let me bring that back up. So that can be changed under File and Program Settings, where you can optimize cow page for speed up of entry and turn off or show action lists. So again, we don't recommend showing your action list for large herds or herds using networking, because those reports are being built every time you're doing data entry. So if you have those shut off, you'll see enhancement in your speed for PCDART. Now you'll notice, since I turned on that optimized cow page, we no longer have a magnifying glass and we don't have a drop down. So you would have to key in cow to cow to move forward. Our biggest enhancement, though, that we have in this release is our beef on dairy. So beef breeds have been added to PCDART and to Pocket Dairy. The Pocket Dairy application should be updated from our DRMS website, and we're going to circle back to that here later on in the presentation. New crossbred beef codes for new calves born are XB for crossbred beef and XD for crossbred dairy. Active heifers and bulls with breed codes of XX and whose sires are NA for Angus, GV for Gelbert, and SM for Semitole, or XB for cross beef will automatically be converted when you update PCDART. So upon your initial installation of 8.2, you'll update PCDART and you'll go in and you'll have noticed that instead of XX for these active heifers and bulls, you could be seeing XB for cross beef or XD for cross dairy. Now, for cows specifically, we will retain their previous assigned breed codes to avoid ID conflicts with CDCB. Future crossbred dairy heifers born into the herd will automatically be assigned with an XD or an XB code to be sent to CDCB. So, for example, if I go to animal 16498, we'll notice that she is an XX. But let's say, for example, we know that that is not necessarily true, that we know that she should be an XB. We can go to the input desk and we can change that animal's ID, and we can come down here. We know that the sire for this animal was actually a limousine. And we'll see that the sire breed changes automatically, and we can come up here and mark her as an XB for a cross beef. So if you wanted to make reports in PCDART to analyze which animals could potentially need a breed change, this is where that change would need to be done on the ID screen. Again, cows are going to retain their assigned breed codes and will not be changed automatically. Only heifers and bulls active in the herd. Okay? One of the things that you're going to notice, which we all think is amazing in this release, is under reports. So if we come to reports and we come to new and we're building reports in PCDART, we'll notice that along the animal filter, instead of just cows, heifers, both, or bulls, you'll now notice we have multiple animal filters. We have cows, dairy heifers, dairy bulls, and beef bulls, where you can select any combination or just singular of any of these options to create your reports out of. Now, for example, let's say we want to create a report of our herd that shows animals due to dairy or beef in the next few months. This can now be done easily using our search for beef. You'll notice our 3 new beef breed database items. 957 is the animal itself a beef breed. 958 is the sire of the animal a beef breed. And 959 is the service sire a beef breed. So let's take a look at building a report to get us the inventory of what we can expect due to dairy and due to beef over the next several months. I'm going to bring up this report for you here. So this is a great option. So we're going to select our filter of cows and dairy heifers. And what we're going to do is we are going to use this 557, is this animal beef? And then we're also going to add the service sire beef breed and the service sire beef. We're going to select our controls and our limits. We want to make sure the animal is bred. We don't want her open, and we do not want to make sure she's a cull. We're going to come over here to our subgrouping. This is a great thing that we can use, is the service sire of beef breed. So we're going to say no to no and yes to yes, which means it's going to subgroup our report on all the animals who have service sires that are not a beef breed, sorry about that, first, and then all the ones that are a beef breed secondly. And then we're going to come over here and do a minor sort on days until due to calve and break it out into a 30-day interval. Once we click cross tabs, we can now look at all the animals. We're going to come up here, and instead of a percent, we're going to do a count. So for example, we have 179 animals due in the next 30 days that are not beef. And over here, I can widen this out for us here. We have 164 that are, but you can see later on in that 200 to 241 days, we were breeding a lot of animals to beef. And so we can expect a decrease in our dairy heifers and an increase in our dairy animals born on the farm and a large increase of our beef animals born on the farm.
Doesn't look like we have any yet, but as a reminder to anybody, as you have questions along the way, feel free to throw those in the chat, and I'll ask Cassie when it works out.
So
we just got one that came in real quick.
Okay.
Will other beef breeds become available, such as Wagyu?
So that's a great question. So let's come in here and let's create a new heifer, for example. So if we select the breed, the sire breed of this animal, I'm going to make this bigger so hopefully we can see it all. You'll see we have multiple options now. And Wagyu is actually a Kobe, which is a KB, so that is available now in PCDART. So we have added a multitude of beef breeds in here, from Hereford to Charolais to Simmentals to Wagyu. So those are available in this new release for you. Okay, so many standard reports separate dairy young stock from beef young stock to improve reporting. All cows are included in standard reports regardless of the breed. For example, the 126 report over here, the 126 report is going to exclude any heifers with a breed of XB. So if you're utilizing this pregnancy rate report, please note that any heifers that might be bred but have a breed of cross beef will not be available on this report. So some of the other places that you'll see some changes, so for protocols, for example, which animals to include. Now you have the option to include, maybe you want heifers and bulls, you want just dairy and beef heifers, you want just dairy heifers or just beef heifers, or you want a combination of any of those. Because we do take into consideration that we know that we might not be managing our dairy and beef heifers the same for protocols, but maybe we're potentially raising them both on farm, and we want to separate our eligible for enrollment for specific protocols based on whether they're beef or they're dairy. Any questions on the beef to dairy additions to PCDART before we move on to some of our other additions that we have? If not, I'm going to go ahead, and while we're in standard reports, let's go ahead and take a look at the 805 report. This provides a detailed breakdown of percent infected by lactation groups and stage of lactation over the last year's test days. So it's going to go, it's a year, it's, the last 12 months. So based on whatever the test date was that you had selected. It also provides a reproductive summary of the breeding herd and the pregnant herd, including cows and heifers. This is currently part of the 302 herd summary report, so it's only based on test day information. And you can always go back, and perhaps you want to compare a year to year, or you want to go back, you do have the ability to do so by selecting test day. We also have the 806 report, which is a detailed 150 milk day report. This provides by test day a breakdown of the 150-day standardized milk by stage of lactation. So this is also available now within PCDART instead of just on the printed report. Another big adjustment that was added to this version of PCDART was genetic information has made huge changes in providing more information back to producers. So, for example, I apologize, I need to swap out herds here for a herd that has some different genetic information here for you. All right. Okay, let's go back here, and I'm going to show you my report 14, my genetic report. And we'll notice on this that one of the nicest changes that we have made is the type of proof of indicator was added as a database item 860. So you can see here that like this animal's type of proof is a parent average. So this animal itself has no performance or genomic data. We also have conventional, so the parent contribution plus the animal's performance data itself, which is normally what we have seen as previous indicators before genomics, right? And so then we also have the GC, which is the genetic test plus performance data. You also have a G1, a G2, and a G3. So you can come in here and you could create a report based on type of proof if you wanted to see animals in your herd that potentially only have a parent average or a conventional average that have no genomic data of their own. Some of the other things that you'll notice on here is we also have the ability to add other types of genomic data. We have, your cheese merit, fluid merit, net merit, grazing merit. Now we're instead of just having an option for one based on your type of genetic indicator, it's now being populated for all of those no matter what.
We've got a question in the chat that says, is GTPI or GJPI available?
So since those are calculated differently by breed association and not by CDCB, those two current genetic database items are not available in PCDART at the moment. So new database items traits that are now available are PTA heifer, livability, PTA heifer, early first calving, PTA feed saved. And you can find a list of all of those under our new feature. I'm going to leave this screen up for just a second in case anybody wanted to take a screenshot. I know sometimes people like to do that. So I'm going to leave this up for just a second. Were there any other questions?
Doesn't look like there's any more in the chat at the moment.
All right. With that, I wanted to let everybody know also that we have a PDF button that is now working and usable in PCDART. So no more workarounds. If you were for exporting reports to PDF, that now works. anyone that works with goat breeds, we have new goat breeds available, miniature goats, and Guernsey goat breeds are available in PCDART and Pocket Dairy. Also, one of the things that has been added for test day is under milking times. There's the ability to enter the 4th milking time for 4X herds. So if you're a 4X herd, your technician should be able to enter your 4th milking and also enter it within each batch. All of your PCDART updates and new features under help, there's a new features option. And so anytime there's a new release to PCDART, you can go into this new features and it breaks down what all the new features are, new database items. And so after this meeting, if you have any questions about different database items or availabilities that we talked about, you can see them all listed here. And again, there are a ton of new database items that are available. We're not going to have time today to go through all of them, but I just wanted to make sure you knew where that was at. All right, I told you we'd swing around back quick in regards to downloading Pocket Dairy and or PCDART from the DRMS website. So if you come into the DRMS website, you'll have the ability to log in using your herd code, no dashes, no spaces, and your RAC code. And under downloads, you have the ability to download PCDART for producers or Pocket Dairy. For all our Pocket Dairy users, I really wanted to go over this for you since this looks a little bit different than the way it used to look. Under Pocket Dairy, it's going to ask you which version of PCDART you have. So once you've updated to the newest release, it's going to be build 8.2. So that means the 8X builds. And then you're going to download PCDART version 1.6.15. It'll be kind of crucial that you get this downloaded because if you've updated PCDART so that you can make sure you have access to all of the new beef and genomic database items you may want to send over.
We have a question regarding Pocket Dairy, and is it available for Apple devices now?
It is not. It's still currently only available for Android devices at the moment. I think they have had multiple discussions about the Apple platform, but at the moment, with some of these enhancements, we have not changed the platform to iOS systems. At any point in time, you have questions about PCDART, Pocket Dairy, DHI reports. DRMS has this great option to sign up for virtual education. These are one-on-one sessions with DRMS staff. You can pick a time slot that's available or time slot that you want and whatever works for you. And then you can, the great thing about this is you can come with questions ahead of time. Hey guys, I want to take a look at my cull rate and pregnancy rates and PCDART and how to maybe make some cull reports. I want to know more about trackers or whatnot. Or maybe you just want to have another more in-depth session on building reports or things like that. Signing up for virtual education is a great way to do that. It's just a scheduled hour that's set aside for you. But don't forget, at any point in time you have questions or need assistance, DRMS support is always here to help you answer any questions that you may have by calling our support line. Don't ever hesitate to give us a call. That's why we're here and what we're for.
Hey, thank you, Cassie. That was great. So, like she mentioned, we're opened up to questions. If you would like to unmute yourself, go ahead and do that. You can talk to us directly, or you can continue to type them in the chat and I can read them aloud as they come up. So feel free, if anybody's got any questions, jump on in there. But in the meantime, as you guys are kind of thinking of some questions you may have, I have a few that have come up that we can start talking about now. So One of the questions we have received since things have changed is, will there be any changes to the font in the future?
At this point in time, the font is as it is. When they maybe upgrade or add new themes or new zooms, that is something that maybe the programming staff can take into consideration. But at this point in time, there is no plans to update the font.
What about, is it possible to adjust the screen size to accommodate for the larger font adjustment? So when we make it that 150%, can we also adjust that screen size to accommodate that?
So a couple of the things that people have talked about was, depending on their zoom size and their monitor size, that some screens are getting cut off depending on resolution and size. So that has been taken to development so that they are now aware that perhaps some scroll bars need to be put into place in certain screens, or, for example, this screen doesn't have a maximize, minimize, that may need to be added.
Awesome, thank you. Got one in the chat here. Will the same beef updates be in the heifer grower version?
The same beef updates are in the heifer grower version. If you update heifer grower PCDART, you'll see those there.
Along the lines of updates, oh, go ahead. You have more?
Nope, and I also saw the second question in regards to heifer grower version having the ability to see genomic data. All the same database items and features are available within heifer grower PCDART, so you should be able to see all of that come over. It'll have the genomic data will need to be downloaded within the producer's PCDART for it to be available in the heifer grower PCDART.
We've got another one in here. When you were showing the genomic data report, that was a custom report you built or a standard report already available?
That was a report that I built. I will bring it back up on the screen for you. If you want to take a screenshot or write it down, you're more than welcome to do so. I can also share those reports with CentralStar, with Aaron or whomever, to post them out, email them out if you're interested in those after the meeting.
So with all of these updates, if there's anybody watching that has not updated everything, what all do they need to do? Where can they do that?
Yep. So by going to the DRMS website, you can download the new version of PCDART and Pocket Dairy. Also, most of the technicians have a flash drive that they should be bringing around on test day to update their on-farm producers. If you do not have access to high-speed internet and you need a flash drive mailed to your farm directly, please feel free to reach out, and that can be accommodated.
Are there any issues that could be caused if you don't update your system?
So if you are doing an exchange with your technician on test day, it's really important that you upgrade, because once your database hits their PCDART, your beef breeds, if you are using beef, will get changed from X to XB or XD. And just the new enhancements that are available are most likely going to increase speed and versatility of PCDART. And if new database items or genomic data become available, they'll only be released to this new upgrade and not to downgraded version.
Another in the chat, have input fields for embryo info expanded? For example, embryo grade, stage, or fresh frozen info?
At this point, no. I know it's on the list of things that our priorities team has discussed, but within this release, it was not an addition.
So where can customers go if they're having issues with updates or with something within the system? I know you talked a little bit about learning more with the virtual education, but if they're having just problems they need help getting through, who should they call? Where should they go?
Right. So we always suggest that your first contact be your field staff, whether it's Mr. Larry Glista, Kevin Hayes, Pam Tome, Joe Britt, or Jeff Hardiman, or your technician on farm. But if for some reason you're unable to get through them, DRMS support staff is always available to answer any questions. You can either send an email to us through our website, or you can give us a call at either of the numbers listed on the screen.
Thank you. As we wrap things up today, I want to remind you all that if you would like more information or need further assistance, to check out the virtual training offered through DRMS that Cassie talked about. This episode was recorded and will be uploaded to the CentralStar YouTube channel and shared through various avenues by DRMS. Also, as a reminder, CentralStar has another webinar series with episodes released quarterly. You can see past episodes on our website or YouTube channel and register for future episodes on our website or through social media promotions. There is also a QR code for registration on our newest publication of the Big Book. Our next episode is in January, and we'll be covering bovine leukemia virus, or BLV. If you're watching this recording on our YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button and change your alert settings to all so you get notifications whenever we publish new content. Also, follow us on social media like Facebook and LinkedIn to see our upcoming events. So thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.